We have a Lucas here.
Do we have a Lucas? Well, I think you may be a bit loud. Let's quietly fade out the music. I think you might be a bit loud. Oh, God. Also,
Okay, I like
it's
it.
going to be one of those days today, unfortunately.
Fair enough, yeah. I just took a
Yeah.
shower right before because I was like, hair's looking a little bit greasy. I'm just gonna go grab a
Yeah,
quick shower.
I'm currently in that same boat where it's like, it's not that it's greasy, it's I washed it. So when I wash it, it goes really fluffy because I have really thick hair. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
looks like I've got a big mushroom on my head. So yeah, welcome to what, episode 68?
68, yeah.
68 of the Carl's Con. Oh, man. I can't believe we go from this to 70 straight away. It's
It's
going to be great.
weird, isn't it? Like the
It's,
numbers
it's
just
weird how
missing.
there's no number between 68 and 70.
Very strange.
Anyway, yeah, to the people watching on video right now, the Q&A portion comes at the end of the podcast. And for the people listening to this, if you want to join in the Q&A, you've got to watch the stream live on Wednesdays at about 7 p.m. Greenwich Meridian time. And Lucas, I'm not sure about you, but before I start my stream, I'll have a little bit of music on at the start.
Oh yeah, yeah. I,
Is
I
it-
I
you
leave it nice and blank, just like it's bit stilted, just having a blank screen with no music.
Yeah.
But the same time, I don't like any of that DMCA nonsense.
No, neither do I. So I was hoping, because like pour one out for Daft Punk. Daft Punk broke up after 28 years in the music industry this week. I know I got told about it about 2 dozen times, but I thought it'd be nice to play some Daft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh it's Daft Punk. I thought, well, hang on, surely I could find a cover of a Daft Punk song. And I go and have a look. I thought, I know some 8-bit stuff. We talk about video games, and I go
Yeah.
and find a guy who does like 8-bit covers. Oh, he does 8-bit covers of Daft Punk. Do not use my music without permission. It's like, fair enough. You put a lot of work into making that. Fuck it, Gangplank Galleon. The guy who composed that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's not going to track me down. And Lucas, you mentioned there DMCA. So what's all that about?
I mean, I think most people know all the copyright stuff that goes on in the internet now are basically just do not use our music.
Yeah.
And it's normally like not necessarily the artists themselves, but the record companies and labels behind those artists going, if you use the music that we own, we're gonna fucking come for you and take all of the 20p that you make off your YouTube video.
Yeah, and it gets real rough sometimes, and I don't think anything sums it up more than the fact that Twitch themselves muted a live Metallica concert because Metallica, you can't have that playing,
No.
and they muted a Metallica in the same way that we do.
Yeah, so it was a BlizzCon, I believe, and they had a live Metallica performance, which, fair play to Blizzard, like, that's a pretty big pull. And obviously, every single person streaming it on Twitch immediately had to be, oh, crap,
shit, yeah,
mute, stop streaming.
And then that's fair enough, yeah, because obviously you are at that point technically using their music without permission. We think Joe probably did have permission to play Metallica's music. Fucking Twitch, considering they were streaming live on Twitch. And no, even Twitch themselves muted the audio from Metallica. And I would love to be a fly on the wall trying to explain that to James Hetfield.
Yeah.
When he asks, so how many people watch the stream? It's like, about 40% of people watching it immediately turned off the moment you started. What? Why? Oh, because they didn't want to get copyright claim. What do you mean copyright claim? For playing your music without... well, we hate that.
Yeah.
Metallica famously hates people playing their music without permission. It says, but we were playing a concert. And in their head, they probably think of it as the same way like someone like filming on their phone. So they don't really give a shit about that. It's like, you're not going to upload that and then someone's going to listen to that instead of buying the album.
But yeah, oh god, it's bad, isn't it? Like, Twitch themselves, as you say, have to hit the panic button and play some weird, like, 8-bit dreamscape music over the Metallica concert, which was really jarring.
As well, it was basically avant-garde. It was the accidental creation of high art, just seeing Metallica thrashing the fuck out of their set. They're just saying do over the top, and then you find out because it's because of just corporate shenanigans. That's amazing.
Yeah, and like Metallica are like apparently really notorious for this, and they are a big reason they sued Napster. You say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I saw people just going, "Well, fuck Metallica," because half of this is their fault anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, yeah, okay. Well, that's coming back to bite them in the ass, isn't it?
And this is something that me and you have experienced personally, haven't we? Because I've released a couple of like factory videos, or I guess we have. You know, we all work on the channel. There's
Yeah.
been a couple of factory videos that have been taken down and or just received copyright strikes for playing copyrighted music, even just as little as like a 5-second clip.
And the
And
one that I
it's really
remember
gutting.
was like obviously putting the immigrant song in for
Yeah,
that Thor Ragnarok clip, and it's like, nope, gone.
immediately, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nisha had to edit it in such a way where it cut the clip out and then fuck the audio up. We're completely ruining the point of putting the clip in.
Yeah.
But something else we've experienced is because we thought, oh, yeah, you can't play copyright music anymore. That's fair enough. So we thought we had a solution to that in the form of covers, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and like we stream a lot, and generally both of us came to a similar conclusion of what we should do is do like metal video game covers for background music.
Because like video game music by itself is really just good background music by design. It's literal background music. But we both like our rock and roll, our heavy metal. So we thought, let's find metal covers.
Yeah, and just keeps the stream a bit hyped, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and we both separately discovered something specifically about video game metal covers. That there is a James Hetfield of the video game metal cover world called Richard A.B.
Yeah, sorry, I spoke over that a little bit. Richard A.B., please fucking stop. Or whoever is your production company or whatever, stop. Because you are claiming that other people's music that you covered is your fucking own.
Yeah, so to clarify, for people who may not know, like Richard A.B. is a very, very talented, like that's one thing I'll give you, he's a fucking phenomenal guitarist slash musician.
Really is.
Who does primarily video game covers of music. And you can find all his stuff on Spotify, on YouTube, all those places. And he is like his music is often part of these video game metal like playlists that are like hundreds and hundreds of songs long. The problem is, as you mentioned, for some reason, just he more than anyone, if you upload a video to YouTube like this stream right now, and it happens to have one of his songs in it, that entire 2, 3, 4 hour stream will be demonetized, and he'll claim the money, or whatever production company he has will claim the money.
Yeah.
And he's the only one.
There's a couple of times where I've had it like, oh, one song from an artist has come up out of these 8 on the playlist that was played, but
usually it's just got like a singer involved.
Where every single song of his that gets played, including ones that he like stars on other people's tracks, is like, all of them, anytime he's a contributing artist, get copyright struck.
Immediately, to the point where, like, and when it's got a copyright strike, the only option is you either mute that section of the stream, cut it out, or just let him claim the money for it. I'm saying him because he must have something to do. It's like presumably he's an independent dude.
Yeah, you would imagine so.
He's not like in a fucking band or anything like that. He's not like Metallica where you can like point to their like production company. It's like he is a dude on YouTube who presumably just like has a company that he works for or founded or something. And it's baffling to think. So you get it if it's like a Metallica track.
Yeah,
like, fair enough. Yeah, Metallica track.
It's like, yeah, you wrote that music. You know, you can argue like free, fair use and like transformative art and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. You can have arguments about it. At the end of the day, they created that piece of music.
Yeah, it's their song.
Yeah,
and like it. But like, if, at the same time, if I was in the background had a cover of a Metallica song and the person who did that cover was like, "No, fuck you, give me my cut," I'd be a bit pissed off.
It's like, fair enough, that money might not be mine, but it doesn't belong to you, middleman. It belongs to Metallica.
Yeah, it's like because if you're going to argue that your cover was transformative enough to avoid being sued by the original copyright holder, I'm going to argue the same fucking thing with my gameplay. It's crazy, isn't it?
It really
is. The fact that there's just one dude that we both, as I said, independently discovered does this, and then and then bitched about out loud. Went, wait, is it this guy? And
yeah,
yeah, it's that guy.
Because we were both just streaming. And I went, oh yeah, I had to make my own metal video game covers like playlist that was friendly for uploads because this one guy keeps claiming it, and you're like, is it fucking Richard A.B.? It's like, oh yeah.
Oh. It's like, it's just weird to think, isn't it?
It really is.
One dude who does it, and I'd love to know the backstory to it.
Yeah, I just want to have a conversation with the guy
and just find out what's going on with that, because it's as I said, like there is an argument to be made for fair use and at what point something becomes transformative, and arguing whether or not is Twitch gameplay transformative. I'd argue it is, but then you can say, well, the music in the background, you don't actually need that. You're not adding anything to that. You're just putting it there for your own sense of comfort. Because I don't know about you, but playing video games for 4.5 hours, if I was listening to the in-game track, I get fucking bored very quickly.
Most of the time, yes.
So like background music does help, and I'm already starting to get sick of like the non-copyright music I've found for the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like that thing, isn't it? Of as you said, if your version is transformative, then mine is too, because we are adding like commentary and gameplay, and having the music as like a supplementary thing in the background. It's not the reason that people watch our streams.
But at the same time as well, if you want to claim some of the money, don't claim all of it. It's like, come on.
I mean,
we're trying to make ends meet too.
Surely a thing on YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
Of like, if you claim something within a video, you're claiming all of the video naturally.
Yeah, and I do think, though, the absolute worst example of that we've encountered on the channel so far is for 1 year over Christmas, when me and Brad were just working, the channel had just started, and we didn't really have the means to create like a backlog.
Right, yeah.
Over Christmas, when we had like a 2-week lull, I recorded myself watching RoboCop. I did a commentary track for RoboCop.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
There is no, and we do not use any of RoboCop in that commentary track. It's just a an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes if it's the special edition.
Right.
Just static image of RoboCop the film, of me talking over the film, and then you listen alongside. It's a commentary track of me like telling you all the facts that I know about the film.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But to help people sync it up, Brad puts in 3 silent seconds of the logo that flashes up at the stats. Not even the film, just the logo for the production company, which no longer exists. For the entire time that video has been up, it was copyright struck. What? Because it just says RoboCop full film commentary, and I was always too scared to counteract that claim. And I recently did, and it went through in a day. But while it was going through, they held the money it earned for that 1 day in escrow. For that 2 years, whatever fucking shit company was claiming it, because the company that made RoboCop went bust and someone else bought the rights.
Right, yeah.
Have been earning all the money off that video. And it's like an hour and a half, and it is the most like open shut case of fair use, because 1, I'm not using any of the content.
Yeah, yeah.
And 2, it's literally one of like the defined reasons for fair use, which is commentary.
Oh God, and that's the weird thing, isn't it? Of like, there is zero repercussions on their end for doing that. We own this. YouTube goes, all right then. I guess that I'll just take that statement to be true. I'll give you all the money. And then, 2 years later, someone goes, no, I've had enough of this. And you get nothing out of it.
Yeah. They got 2 years, basically, of just earning all the money that video made.
Yeah.
And all the risk was on my part, because I'm the one who had to risk the entire channel, which obviously at the time that video went up, it was just starting to grow, and I was really scared to do that. And just one day I was just going through, I think like a week or so ago, going through the channels, like, oh, let's have a look, which ones have actually got copyright strikes that have not been taken down. And I looked, and that was one like, fuck that, because people were sending me messages saying, I'm trying to watch your commentary track, there's an ad in the middle of it. Because obviously now it's owned by someone else, they put ads in the middle, and if you're watching it as a commentary track, you get an ad like an hour and a half in, then you've got to pause you skip the ad, but then you're like 5 seconds behind on the commentary track. There's no way you're going to sync it back up, is there?
Yeah.
I might as well remove it now, unless I can get the copyright claim taken off it, and it went down in a day. A day.
Fucking hell. And I don't know about you, but like I find this idea interesting of like, getting someone to do a commentary on top of watching a film, and a lot of creators now have started. Like I've seen a lot of movie writers and directors and stuff go, I will do like a watch party on Twitch, where like I saw that James Gunn did it a while ago with the Guardians movies, and it was just like I will like sync up the movie with you all at the start. Then I will watch the movie and just give you all like director's commentary, and I thought it was really cool.
And the only reason he can't put it on screen is because even though he works for fucking Disney, they'd still send a copyright strike to his fucking channel.
Yeah. But I think that's
realistic. It's cool,
but yeah,
realistically, you should be able to put it on screen.
Yeah, you should be able to put it on screen as somebody who's like, actively part of the production. Like, he's a fucking director trying to get people interested in that product and hype up, like, you know, the volume 3 or whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like, you know, provide something for the fan base. And I think it's a really cool thing to do because obviously it's director's commentary, but with live Q&A as well.
Yeah, it's like it's the most like behind the scenes you can get. Like you
Yeah.
are sat there with the director watching them explain like what went into the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's I think going to be the only way I'm going to watch the Snyder Cut. I refuse to watch it unless I can have Zack Snyder explaining every decision to me.
I mean, either that or like I was thinking in my head, I refuse to watch it without a few drunk friends.
Yeah,
And
but I want
yeah.
Zack Snyder explaining everything on screen. So you've seen like what came out. I know there's been reveal after reveal after reveal. Have you seen the very very latest thing that came out about it? There's a new picture of the Joker.
I saw the trailer with the Joker in and the picture that he put just before that trailer.
No, it was a new picture, and it's the
Oh.
Joker, and he's got like the wreath of thorns on his head, and he's doing like the Jesus pose. But
Oh.
you know, because Zack Snyder's a fucking hack. But
Oh
well,
my
but what
god.
else was the Jesus metaphor, Lucas? It was fucking Superman. So everyone's Jesus now.
I know.
We all we all
Like,
Jesus.
speaking of Superman, I've seen a
Yeah,
clip of the new Superman and Lois. No, Clark and Lois? Or Superman and Lois?
Clark and Lois. Or
Clark
something
and
like that,
Lois. And
yeah, I think.
immediately, that Superman is more endearing than Zack Snyder's. Like, within one scene that I saw for 20 seconds.
Yeah, this one 20, 30-second long clip is like Superman is a better version of the character.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's brilliant because like you know that Zack Snyder's so fucking salty because in that same interview where he revealed that picture, he talked about how, oh, so you getting any money for this now? I turned down all money that I was offered to maintain 100% creative control over my vision. So that's what he's done when he's got 100% creative control, and it's still shit.
Yeah.
He's had unlimited budget, unlimited creative freedom, gets access to every actor they have, unprecedented control, and he still makes something that looks shit.
Yeah, and I still find it so hilarious that there's people out there go, see, we were right, the Snyder Cut existed. It's like, how?
Oh man! And like I said, I want to watch it with his commentary because he's like if Cinema Sins got to direct a film. Like, he's a
Yeah, yeah.
fucking moron. And one of my favorite things because you know behind the scenes he's really mad that he can't get people hyped for this movie. Because just as of like what 20 minutes ago, there was a single the trailer, I guess, for the new Spider-Man movie
Oh,
coming
the
out.
name announcement, yeah.
Yeah, like the name announcement for Spider-Man has gotten more traction online in less than a day than everything revealed about the Snyder Cut has in a year. That's the name of like people are more excited for the name of the movie than they are for this 4-hour epic.
Yeah, and to clarify, I'm excited about the name of the movie. Because it was No
yeah.
Way Home, wasn't it?
Did you not see what they were doing now?
Oh, because they did this morning where like Tom Holland put out like Phone Home, didn't he?
Yeah, but did you see who else put a message out about it?
I thought was it just the three like main actors?
Oh, I thought like Tobey Maguire was putting one out as well.
Oh, was he?
I think people were talking about Tobey Maguire. Maybe I got the wrong end of the stick because I saw the 3 headlines. I thought one of them was Tobey Maguire.
Let me double check, but I believe it was like
Was it the main actors
for like MJ and Ned.
Okay. I must have got like lost in the source because I saw that Tobey Maguire was trending. I saw that image and just like put 2 and 2 together. So that's my bad.
Okay.
That's me making a way hyper announcement in my head. I would love it if Tobey Maguire was in like if he's just there in the background, like yeah, whatever. Because you know that's gonna break the internet.
Oh yeah.
If that happened, I would lose my fucking shit. All he needs to do is just like rock up and just be like pizza time.
Oh okay, yeah. Apparently, the announcement, yeah, they were announced being teased by the lead stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon.
Oh man, that's me reading. That's me making my own stat. I jumped to a conclusion. I did that typical YouTuber thing. At least I didn't make a video about it. Though that's the important thing.
Because that's people going like, "Oh, well, Spider-Man 3's trending. Let's get Tobey Maguire trending."
Ah, okay, that's my
Like,
bad.
or
Then.
like people go, "I can't wait to see Tobey Maguire in this," blah blah blah.
Well, the
Similar to
thing
how
is,
like Pokemon Day happened, and then Gen
and
4 remakes and Sinnoh were trending, and it's like no
I'm
one
like, oh,
announced
cool, they
anything.
announced the remake now.
Yeah,
Okay, well that was me getting way too hyped for my own good, and that's why I try to avoid hype. But it's difficult to avoid hype with Spider-Man specifically.
it really is because we
Because
both love Spider-Man.
I fucking love Spider-Man, yes, and I don't want to talk too much about Marvel because, like, currently ongoing is like one of the probably like the biggest story arcs for a while. So
Yeah,
let's avoid that because the show's not like WandaVision and stuff's not even finished airing yet,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
move swiftly on to your week, Lucas. What have you been up to?
Um. Well, I mean, the premise is always, well, I haven't been up to much because we're still in fucking lockdown.
We've got
Uh,
some light at the end of the tunnel, though.
there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Like they've announced a more tentative plans, but the last few times they've announced it, they've fucked up everything, and it
They
hasn't
can't fuck
gone
it
the
up a
way that
third
they've
time.
planned. So I don't take anything they say very seriously anymore because
No.
every time they've gone like, yeah, this will be happening and we'll sort it out in a few months, and then it gets more fucked up along the line. So yeah, go back to my week though. Like been doing some editing. I've been playing some more Jedi Fallen Order because I
That
started jumping back into that.
it's rough in it on Xbox.
It's real rough. The performance is very bad, and like the only reason I've stuck with the game is because A, it's Star Wars. We all have a bit of affinity for Star Wars, and B, people keep telling me like, yeah, but the game is good, and it's like, why do so many people say this game is so good? And I was about a third of the way through the game from the looks of it, but when I dropped off, and I'm like, I need to finish this game to see what people are talking about.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 hours into it and just completely dropped off because every single time I died, being confronted with a minute long loading screen, it's like, fuck this. Like this is all in just pursuit of this really bad story so far with an unlikable protagonist, a
And
really ugly protagonist as well. Like every character design in that game is just obnoxiously ugly.
yeah,
Like they just look really bad. Like the just look of the game is shit.
the game looks really, really bad. The game looks like it was trying way too hard, and
To be a
then
graphical masterpiece.
yeah, to look good, but the character models all look bad. The Wookiees especially, like that's
The
meme
Wookiees look
worthy.
terrible. And then
Um,
you've got like that lady who's supposed to like you back up and like they did her so dirty.
yeah, they did, yeah.
She looks she looks like a monster. Like she doesn't look like she has eyelids
Yeah, exactly. And they
like
all
on
have
the
this
character
weird
model.
sheen to them, and like the protagonist is just so bland. Like it's Star Wars, and you had to make the protagonist just boring white man again. It's
Yeah.
like there's endless possibilities in Star Wars theoretically, and it's
Yes.
always about a fucking boring white man.
Because that happened to me when I played like the first couple hours of the game. My girlfriend walked in on me playing it.
Yeah,
And she went, "Oh, is that your character?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "Why does he look so shit? Why'd you make him look so boring?" I went, "No, that's just what the character looks like." She went, "No, he looks so bad." She thought I'd made a bad looking character on purpose.
yeah.
Or like I just skipped through the customization, just made a default character and didn't give a shit. He's like,
Mm.
"No, that's what the character looks like." She went, "No." Then she Googled the actor and went, "The actor's like really handsome.
Yeah,
Why did
he
they
is.
make him look so shit?"
Yeah, and it's weird because he has like a hint of a look about him, but he doesn't actually look like the actor. The actor looks a lot more handsome.
Yeah, and it's just God. I just dropped off that game straight away. Like the first time I died and got through with a minute long loading screen, and I died because I went to jump and grab a ledge, and the character just went.
Yeah.
Like, do you know that thing where it's like, oh, you jump to grab, and you jump, and he just goes and just grabs nothing and falls to his death. It's like, oh, cool, a minute long load screen, awesome.
Yeah, and that happens quite a lot with minute long load screens. And I found to just get to the point where I was playing podcasts, watching it, just having my phone playing a podcast so that when a cutscene does come up once every hour, I'll pause it for 30 seconds. But I was just like, man, like, this game looks bad. It loads really poorly. It's got a ton of bugs. Like, the technical side of it is just really bad. And the force powers that you start with are almost non-existent, and I am starting to get to a point where combat is quite fun now that I'm like 10 hours in and I've got a
Yeah.
bunch of more powers and a bit more force to use, but how does it take that long?
I just completely fell off. Like when it's like, oh cool, I can unlock some new abilities, and my ability is to swing my lightsaber one extra time. It's like, fuck off. Like, where is like keep in mind what was Anakin and Obi-Wan doing in the prequels? Where's that game?
Yeah.
Where's the game where I can just recreate the Battle of Mustafar? Just a whoa, 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 whoa. It's the fucking party rave cave, man.
Where are just the infinite backflips? Come on.
Like, it is established in canon that that's how like Jedi's fucking fight. And it's like, no, just like, and I don't get why it takes so much effort to swing a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah,
This
because
is one of
he
the,
swings it like it's a fucking heavy sword from a Dark Souls game, and
yeah,
it's clearly what it's inspired by, Dark Souls. But yeah, like why does he swing a sword made of like essentially light?
it weighs half a pound, yeah.
Yeah, he should be swinging it around his head like whoa, and he's like, oh,
Yeah, he swings it so slowly. And obviously, the idea is it's supposed to be a Dark Souls game, but that doesn't really, the play style doesn't translate to the Star Wars universe. And that goes all the way back to the original trilogy, where George Lucas told them to swing the lightsabers like they were heavy.
Oh god.
Because he wanted it to be reminiscent of like sword battles in like an old pulp film.
Yeah, because he was clearly inspired by like samurai movies and Wild
Yeah.
West and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he told them to pretend that the lightsabers were heavy, and then he told the actors in the prequels that lightsabers don't weigh anything. So you can swing around super fast. It's almost like George Lucas was a fucking hack and doesn't know what he was doing. But it's like, I don't get it. When I saw like he swings his lightsabers, I've got to apply for planning permission to press X. So this thing weighs nothing and cuts through everything, and I'm supposedly been trained by one of the baddest motherfuckers in the galaxy. This should be like butter.
Yeah. And it's quite annoying because I just had a scene where they show Karl's like master in combat, and he's really badass, and I'm like, God damn it, why can't I play as that guy?
He sounds. I wish I could play as a cool alien in this like universe full of cool aliens.
Oh, instead we just get another white dude. It's like, God,
Like, where's my Twi'lek character action game, man?
I don't even know what a Twi'lek is. I can't remember.
The ones with like the head penises.
Oh, so like
you got,
Gala.
No, I think so. And then you got like Ashoka. He's not a Twi'lek. He's something else. But one of those.
Yeah,
Because
okay,
all the bullshit they do with Cal. You can clearly tell the only reason he wears a poncho is to show off like the poncho tech.
But then the game runs terribly, and like the poncho just makes it run even worse.
And then you got like Lara Croft, where they had like what months spent on the like the ponytail tech.
Yes,
because like a lot of games where they try and show them off as like graphical like showcases, they always put in like that one thing to show off. Like with Tomb Raider, it was the Lara Croft ponytail, and they put like a dozen animations in that were unique for different situations for Lara Croft with a ponytail. To the point where on the PC version, you can actually turn off ponytail physics because they slow down bad PCs.
Yeah, because that was one big PC update when they released it there of like, oh,
turn
you
off
can
ponytail
get
physics.
even better hair physics.
Yeah, you can turn it off because it's so taxing on the system that slow PCs can't run it. And if you turn it off, her hair's just constantly windmilling at all times. Whereas, like, and I'm thinking, like, why do they not made a Star Wars game with the Twi'leks or like I don't know what like Ashoka's race is?
Yeah,
and then put all your money into like that hair, the weird like hair appendages they have. Put it into that. Put all of your animation budget into figuring out that shit.
Realistically, you wouldn't need to because it's just two solid objects. Like realistically, that's a lot easier to do than thousands of hair strands.
And it also as well gives you the excuse of like, Joe, back in the PS2 days of like all women just have like tiny short hair that looks like a helmet.
Yeah, just every single woman has a pixie cut because fuck it, why not?
Or a ponytail.
Yeah,
that doesn't move.
And did you ever see like the like FIFA next gen update for the new game, where for a couple of like main big stars
with medium long hair,
different hairstyles, like like Messi is one of the characters, and it's like they gave them like the hair upgrade to make it look super good, but there's only like a dozen people in the game with that hair tech, and everyone else still has like the plastic hair.
Yeah, it must be good though for FIFA, where everyone has a fuckboy haircut these days, because that's really easy to model.
Yeah.
But I think it was one of the UFC games where there was a guy who had hair that was so long they couldn't model it in the game. because obviously most US fighters just have a buzz cut or like, very
Yeah, to
close to
stop the hair getting in the way. Yeah.
and to stop like it being grabbed, like just by accidentally or whatever.
Mm.
But one guy just had really long hair, and like I think EA offered to pay him like 200 grand or something like that to cut it off, so they didn't have to put it in the game. Because like we can't, well, obviously, like those games pride themselves on like how realistic they are
Yeah.
and how like perfectly everything's emulated. It's like we can't model his hair, so they offered him money to shave it off.
Oh, that's so good. It's just like what ended up happening with that? Do you know?
I think that they just gave him like a different haircut.
Ah,
Like,
right. Okay.
he got to sit in and pick a different haircut. Or they gave him like a piece of headgear to like hide it or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, the classic. Just like put a headband on it.
Like, people are talking about as well as a Star Wars game for the Switch, and it's like they want people to play as General Grievous. Like the only way I'd accept that is if you got to use 4 Joy-Cons, and it's 2-player mode. If it's 2-player mode, you got to use 4 Joy-Cons, and two people got to use that one. Two people got to be the arms underneath. I'd play that version. That'd be a
That would be
great
awesome.
co-op game.
Yeah, and they did such a weird announcement of that. It's like, oh, we've got a new game announcement. Oh, here's Star Wars Hunters, I think it was called, and it's like 30-second CGI trailer of like, here's a couple of holograms and a logo that tell us nothing about the game. And then, oh, it's made by Zynga, the mobile developer, and it's
The really bad mobile developer.
arguably good or bad. You could argue very good because they make a shit ton of money, but yeah, they're just making either Switch exclusive game or a console game in general. They didn't tell us what it is. They told us it was something to do with Star Wars and gave us nothing else, and was like, I think later we found out it's like a third-person game of some kind, but
no. If they want me to buy it, like I said, 2-player bonus co-op mode. You General Grievous. You each control one of his arms.
I'd be down for that. Like,
make it like Overcooked.
Well, Octodad. Because
Octodad
did that, didn't they? Where
control one limb each.
There's 4 limbs you control, and you can play 4-player. You can even do it where at random periods of time, everyone's control of a limb changes. So you'll go from controlling like his right arm to his left leg randomly at different intervals.
That's it. That's the only way I'd play that game.
That would be amazing.
And just like you have to stand like lockstep and just make it like a bonus mode. But they'd never do that because that's too fun.
That is too fun, yeah.
It's too fun and it's too different.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same universe of like where like Jedi Fallen Order, where they got asked point blank, why do you have to play as a dude? It's like, oh, Karl's story is really important. It's really important that he's a human. It's like, is it? He could have been of any fucking race in that universe. It doesn't matter.
The only thing so far in the story that has like mattered to Karl and his story is the fact that he's a Jedi apprentice, which could have been anybody.
Because Jedis can be from any fucking race. There's like a Jedi in one of the comics who doesn't have hands.
Yeah.
Like he just used the Force to control a lightsaber around him. It's ridiculous. So I want a Star Wars game or movie that is like the Green Lantern Corps, where they show Jedi's being like the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Do you know when you see like background shots or background characters in panels from Green Lantern comics, and there's like every conceivable kind of alien is a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Like you've got the guy who's got like a volcano for a head, or the Green Lantern who's a living mathematical equation. It's like, I want that for Jedi.
That would be amazing, yeah.
But instead, it's always just like a fucking human who looks shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, as much as I appreciated, like, the only real time they've changed it up and making Daisy Ridley the main character, and like that's a nice step, but especially in like video games where it's easier to make whatever the fuck you want, like, why does it always have to be a human?
It's like, yeah, you can get it from a movie standpoint if you don't want to have to paint the main actress fucking bright green
all
for every
the
scene.
time. Yeah.
But even then, make it a little bit different. Because there's a friend of ours who talked about one of his problems with like Star Wars is that in the new one with Daisy Ridley's character is that you see her in Force Awakens fighting with a staff.
Yeah.
Like she's established as being competent at fighting with a staff.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I was really excited for that because I was looking forward to when she built a lightsaber in the next movie. She's inexperienced with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to her building a lightsaber staff.
And that would have been really cool, yeah.
And like, building a lightsaber around that staff and having like a fighting style around that. Similar to like, Darth Maul, but a Jedi. Or maybe just have like, one lightsaber on one end or something. Or just incorporate it in some way because it's established that she can fight with a staff. And he's like, no, they drop it completely, and she just fights with a lightsaber.
Yeah, of course.
God damn it, the one interesting thing about it.
Oh, it's so silly.
He's brilliant, but you know what? We can talk about Star Wars until the cows come home, and we have done many
Yeah,
times before.
We have, yeah.
We have indeed. So, Lucas, I believe there's something you want to mention on this episode of the podcast that I was excited about. So excited that I had to tell you to stop mentioning it earlier today so we could talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, and this was just like, me doing my daily doom scroll.
Yeah.
And coming across a tweet that I was just
I fucking love that term, doom scrolling.
The doom scroll, yeah.
The doom, just like, you shouldn't, but you will.
Yeah, it's like the risky click, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a person smoking a cigarette outside. It's like when you see nurses smoking cigarettes outside of a hospital. It's like they know more than anyone how bad it is for them, but they just don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I will read you the tweet now, because I did tell Karl about this tweet earlier, just mentioned it, like, oh, I found this silly tweet, and Karl's like, wait, no. We'll talk about this later. This is a good one.
So who's the tweet from?
So the tweet is from No Cocoa Puffs, who I will clarify. I've just clicked on the profile. Is a pro Apex Legends partner on Twitch.
Okay.
So they are pro Apex Legends player, and fair enough,
And I'm guessing Cocoa Puffs, is that a girl?
No, it's not. It's a guy.
It's a guy. Okay, sorry, that's my bad. I was wanting to just establish whether it's a girl or a guy, but based on what you're about to say next.
So the tweet goes, to all my streamer friends, I recently ended up getting a personal chef to cook meals for the week. Instead of spending easily $1,400 a month on fast food, I now spend about $800 to $1,000 a month on home-cooked, fresh food made in my own home. It was the best decision I've ever made.
What? So, Lucas, give me those numbers. Give me those numbers again.
So
I'm gonna bring up the calculator app now. We're gonna get some fucking numbers here.
Okay, the first one was $1,400 a month on fast food.
So 1,400, and let's just divide it by 30. Let's have a look. So that's $46 a day.
So
on fast food.
$15 every meal, 3 meals a day.
Let's call that on average just $45 a day on food. And then what was the other number?
Then $800 to $1,000 a month on home cooked food.
Okay, so 1,000 divided by 30 again, it's on average. So that's like 33. So let's call that, $30 and 45. The fuck was this person eating?
Yeah.
Right. So, and do we know if this person's buying food for just themselves, or do they live with a partner?
Okay, so when I was going through the replies, I couldn't find that, whether it was for one person or not, but the way they're wording it,
it sounds like it's just for them.
It sounds like it's just them, because it's like, instead of spending $1,400 a month on fast food, I now spend $800 to $1,000 a month. And it's like, yeah. It seems like it.
Let's operate under the assumption this is a single person. And I actually ordered a takeaway yesterday. And the reason I wanted to find out is it a boy or a girl is because men have a higher caloric needs for the day. On average for a man, it's 2,500. Average for a woman is about 2,000, 1,900. Mm-hmm. And it depends. And for me personally, I have to have about 3,000 calories a day.
Yeah, fair.
I have to have more than that because I exercise, I run, and all that bollocks. And then when I was exercising properly, my caloric intake for the day was a required 4,000 calories a day. The reason that's important is because when I was having 4,000 calories a day,
yes,
my takeaway order would be 2 pizzas, a kebab, 2 portions of chips, and some wedges with sauces, and that would come to about 20 quid. And I would not eat all fucking day before I got that. So for 20 quid, I was getting enough food, arguably for 2 separate people. That was costing me 20 fucking quid. This guy was spending twice that per day, every day for an entire. What the fuck are they eating?
Yeah, I really don't know. And obviously, we're talking pounds to dollars.
Either way, we can check that right now. You can access your computer a lot easier than me because I've got all this crap around me.
So I'll just check what $45 is in pounds.
In pounds, yeah, a day.
But that's per day, and to clarify, so that's about £32.
Okay, so let's go 32 quid, and let's say they're not ordering fast food for breakfast. I'm going to assume they are ordering lunch and or dinner every day. And that, like most people, they have like cereal in, or just skip breakfast,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
snacks, and just have, or like have a cup of coffee in the morning. So let's say they're having 2 meals. That's 15 quid per meal, should we say?
Yeah.
And what could you get for 15 quid, Lucas, from like a takeaway or like a shop near you?
I mean, that's the thing is like takeaway. You could get a couple of meals for 15 quid. Like,
Easy, yeah.
do you know when like Jenna and I order a takeaway, it usually comes like 15 to 20 for two people,
Yeah.
and then like yeah, for shopping, like our food shopping per week must be like 50 quid for two people or something like that.
Yeah. So
I don't. That's a generalization. Like, and obviously, sometimes we're buying
snacks,
non-groceries there and stuff like that.
some beer, something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, in the
exactly.
background. But like my food bill per week is about. Let's go back to when I was not. When we weren't in lockdown.
Yes, yeah.
So like I said, I had to eat a required 4,000 calories per day because I
Mm.
was like training. So I needed to have it, and I had a meal deal every single day.
Hmm.
And on top of that, I would go out for food 3 times a week because we'd go out like when we ate when we recorded at the office, we go
Yeah.
out then, and I go to the pub usually twice a week. On top of that, where I'd have a meal with
Yes.
friends, and then or with my dad, and then I'd have one takeaway each week. On top of that, when I was hanging out, when I go for a night out, like to a nightclub or something like that. And on top
Yeah.
of that, I'd have to buy food, and I was training, so I had to always make sure I had like chicken breasts, all that bollocks in.
Hmm.
My food bill every week, including going out and drinking, was about 150 quid
Yeah.
for all my food.
And that's yeah. What you're saying is like going out as well and like enjoying a meal out and stuff. And it's like
And I was eating twice as much food as a regular person because
yeah,
I needed to have nearly twice as many calories every single fucking day. So I was
yeah,
eating twice as much food as a regular person anyway, and eating out like twice as much as a regular person. I was still spending a fraction of what this person spent ordering food to come to their house. They're not
yeah.
even moving. Their job is sitting on their ass.
Mm.
What are they eating?
And like you know what, fair play. They're trying to say like, oh, I managed to start eating healthier for less money, and like fair enough. And I checked in the
That's not.
comments, and what the way that it works seems like it's the person, the chef, comes to their house with all the groceries on like a Monday, cooks like food prep for the entire week, and then leaves. So it's not like they've got like a live-in chef or someone who comes around every
But it's
day.
more. How fucking useless is this person?
But yeah,
How useless are you where you can't? Like, for that amount of money, you could just deliver fresh food to your house for less money than that. Like,
you
if you want to eat
probably yeah.
healthier and you're spending $1,000 a month, I reckon if you went on delivery, you could just get fresh food delivered
Yeah, you can, yeah.
for cheaper than what they're paying.
Yeah. And like I get convenience and the time not spent cooking is time they can spend practicing and streaming or whatnot.
But it's not convenience because they have to heat up the food.
Yeah, they still have to go and make sure they heat up the food and like yeah, it really baffles me that they're willing to spend like $1,000 a month just on food prep. Like it's bizarre to me. Like
But I
that is a
reckon,
ridiculous amount of money.
yeah, I reckon for that amount of money, you could contact a local cafe or restaurant
Mm,
and just like jokes that they're not really busy that now, are they? You
yeah.
contact a local one and just presumably a family owned one and just work out as I'll pay you 500 quid a month if you deliver me food every day.
Yeah.
Just cook me a meal every fucking day and cook me a massive one with loads of veg in it and I'll just
Mhm.
pick at it all day.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I will say if you're in a position to be spending that amount of money on food, fair play. You're doing well in life. Like
Yeah, but
clearly they're successful enough to be able to do that. But Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
yeah, I felt wasteful when I was buying a meal deal every day.
Yeah.
Just like for the convenience, where my meal deal, so I needed like to get 100 grams of protein, so I'd just get a fucking meal deal with all the protein options, and it was three
Yeah.
quid a day, and I was buying that every single day. So that's
And
7 days a week times 3 quid. So that's 21 quid I was spending on meal deals, and that
yeah,
felt wasteful.
yeah. That's the thing to me. Like they're saying, "Oh, look, it's great. I now only have to spend $800 to $1,000." Like
On
what?
food?
Like $1,400 a month on fast food is like my fucking salary that I pay myself.
What could I buy? Like, I'm thinking, like, so when I splurge, I do splurge.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
fair.
for example, like, I have 2 takeaways a week now.
Mm-hmm.
I have it one night for pizza, one night for Indian. And when my girlfriend's here, we split it. And she's gone. She's away for the moment now. But we'd spend like 35 quid, I think, is the most we've ever spent on our takeaway. And that is when we were having like a proper fucking blowout. And we didn't eat all day. And we had a massive fucking blowout. And we ordered enough food. And we were eating it for 3 days. Like we were still heating up leftovers 3 days later from like the food that we had.
Yeah.
And that cost us like 35 quid. So like what, $50? I couldn't imagine after that ordering that amount of food eating. Bear in mind, for our takeaway days, we don't eat anything all day. We have like a cup of coffee and like just some fruit and veg during the day. Maybe like a bowl of soup or something light.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine waking up the next day and go, okay, I can't wait to order another fucking 35 quid worth of food. It's like, we're still eating it from yesterday.
Yeah, and that's the exact same experience Jenna and I have every time we go. Like, oh, we'll go buy like 30 quid worth of takeaway and splurge out a bit. Like, yeah, it's lasting us like 2 days worth.
And then I can't fathom how much fucking food that would be. It's like when you watch, like for all the problems it has, Super Size Me, where it sounds great to eat McDonald's every day for a week or every day for a month, and then you see him when he gets like the 5th day, he's like, I fucking hate McDonald's. I'm so sick of eating McDonald's. I'm so just tired of eating McDonald's.
And that's the thing is, I presume spending that amount of money on takeaway, they must be going to like nicer takeaways constantly. Than, McDonald's. Like when they say fast food, are they ordering like restaurant food delivered for every meal?
Maybe, yeah, they might be getting. But then again, isn't that what you're doing when you're hiring a personal fucking chef? They're just cooking slightly better. You're cutting out the middleman and the delivery guy.
Because then, yeah, at the end of the day, if they're ordering restaurant food, not fast food, like they said, that's where I can see. Oh, okay, that's how you're spending that much money. But then, arguably, the food doesn't need to be unhealthy.
Yeah, like if they're going to like Uber Eats or something like that, I know it costs a lot when you got like pay what, $5 on top of delivery. But if you were ordered from like a nice restaurant, again, if you just contacted them, they could probably cook you 2 meals and deliver them to you.
Yeah,
for less. It's what an idiot. I can only think that you said they're a streamer. They made a shit ton of money young and just don't know how to budget.
Maybe.
I know if I told my mum I spent $1,400 or the equivalent about 900 quid a month on takeaways, she'd smack me one.
Yeah,
she'd take my credit card off me. She's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Oh God, and like that is a weird thing of like, I guess, there's different levels of like how much money people have and what they choose to spend it on. But I guess to me and you who lived in, not upper class families or anything like that, spending that much on food just sounds like a complete fucking waste of time and money.
That's the thing. I don't think it is, because me and my girlfriend had this exact conversation where we were talking having a lot of takeaways. I'm like, look, we can't go out. We can't do anything realistically. We can stay inside. The only time we ever go out is to go shopping. Like the one thing we look forward to each week is our takeaways. I don't feel bad ordering 2 a week because this is the equivalent of like this is the equivalent of like going out to the pub for us.
Yeah, exactly. And things during lockdown are a bit different, but it doesn't sound like this was a lockdown thing for the streamer.
Just that they haven't.
Also, you're doing that twice a week. They're doing it twice a day.
At that point, you think you just don't pay delivery charges. You think you might as well it'd be easier to hire a courier.
It might be easier to like find a flat next to the restaurant and just fucking walk there.
It's like you could just hire someone to work as your courier.
Well, instead they just essentially hired a meal prep courier. So yeah, I mean, as again, like I don't want to criticize them too harshly because they're making apparently better decisions in life, and they're successful
really not
enough to like. Well, I mean, going from spending $1,400 on takeaway to $800 to $1,000 on meal prep, I guess, is like a bit of an improvement. But do you
know what? I'm glad they're making a job. They've provided work. That's the only positive I can see from that. They've hired somebody.
Yeah. Like, I guess you do. You take that fucking streamer money and throw it down the drain, I guess. But
in the bin. I can only imagine that they're throwing out to say, "Oh man, their house must smell so bad." How bad does your house smell after you order a pizza?
Well, no, it's fine because their personal cleaner comes in and deals with all that.
Oh, probably.
Probably.
I can't fathom it. I get sick of it after a while. It's like when you go on holiday, isn't it? You think, oh, I'm gonna like get pissed every single night and just gorge, and then you get to like third day and you're like, I can't do it. And it's why we've talked before, haven't we? About I don't understand how people can get to the point of being morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Because I just get so bored eating food.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a while, I can only fathom that they're doing it because it's just, and they don't even think about how much they're eating.
I guess.
So I get bored.
But
Like,
even then, like, when I put on weight, and obviously, like, through lockdown, I've put on weight, because a lot of us have, like, I notice it and go, oh, I should probably, like, calm the fuck down a bit. Like, when do you get to that point of, like, oh, well, I went from, like, normal to obese? I don't know where that midpoint is. Like,
I just don't know you can physically eat enough. So I said when I was like eating like 4,000 calories a day, I would get tired of eating. I physically could not find the time to eat enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what we talked before what that show, like Secret Eaters.
Yeah.
Where they like film people who were eating like 7,000 calories in a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do they do it? Oh, they eat an entire tube of Pringles. It's like, okay, you know what? I've smashed a tube of Pringles, like, here and there. I've like, demolished 1 or 2 tubes of Pringles in my time. And you think, well, they do it every day. It's like, you get bored. How can you get sick of Pringles?
And the legendary person making a fucking pie sandwich.
That guy is a fucking legend. I need to talk about the guy who made a pie sandwich, because this show, Secret Eaters, if you don't watch it, go fucking watch it. It's on YouTube. Just Google Secret Eaters.
I think we mentioned it like a little while back, but just go watch Secret Eaters and go watch my man say a pie is not enough fucking carbs I need in a sandwich.
The premise is it's people who've gained weight and can't understand why. So they hire film crews to secretly follow them around, just film them eating. And they have a moment at the midpoint of each episode where they just confront them with all the food they've eaten. Like, oh, look at this, you fat piece of shit. And it's fucking glorious, because you always have every other episode a guy who's like, I don't care. I don't care that I'm caught. It was awesome. And that brings us to a guy who eats, as Lucas said, a pie sandwich, which is he gets a pie, puts it on bread, and goes, and then just eats. And it's like, you fucking legend. And he's not even mad.
Yeah.
He smiles when they confront him about, pie sandwich. I invented it. Pie sandwich.
And it's so weird because it's like the ultimate level of being in denial, where you are on a TV show going, I don't know how I got so fat, or I don't know how I don't lose weight, and then you're putting a pie sandwich in your mouth.
You eat. The thing is, though, he already had like a full English breakfast at home, and then he eats that on his way to work. That was his snack for the day. Instead of having like a biscuit in the morning, like the way we would, he has a pie sandwich, and then eats a full dinner and lunch and supper and snacks as well.
Oh God, yeah. Like when I was snacking before we recorded today, I had like 2 biscuits with my coffee, and he's like, "No, I'm on pie sandwich."
That's how it's done. That's a real man right there. It's like, fuck you, pie sandwich. It's like, all right, let's get into that. What is the most fuck you, I'm in a fat knacker today?
Ooh.
Like, what is like the most like, this is terrible for me and I don't care meal you've had? Or witnessed. Because I can talk about the one that I've witnessed, and that is a friend of mine who had 2 microwaved pizzas, the personal microwave pizzas. Yeah. And he buttered one and put the other one on top of it and ate it like a sandwich. And he had a pizza sandwich.
Oh, I don't know. I did make like just a giant full English breakfast toasty once.
Oh, that's good.
But like that was just, instead of having it all, the toast and the bacon and the sausage and the egg on the plate, you just, put them together and eat them as a sandwich. So it was tasty as fuck. But yeah, like
that does sound incredible.
People always have a go at me, will say, like noodle wraps.
Noodle wraps.
Like, putting noodles on a wrap, and they're like, but you're already just eating carbs. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I used to have pasta sandwiches.
Yeah.
So I understand the appeal of the pie sandwich, because I grew up. I was brought up in a house where if you didn't eat your evening meal, tea to Northerners and dinner, I guess, to Southerners and everyone else, it would be served to you for supper on bread. And if you wanted to eat anything before bed, if you wanted to have your pudding, you couldn't eat pudding till you finish your tea. If you didn't finish your tea, you didn't get your pudding. Yeah. And then you got supper time. And usually for supper, we'd have like, another snack, like a yogurt or a piece of fruit or like a little bowl of cereal or something sugary before bed, and we brushed our teeth. If you wanted to have that, you had to eat your evening meal on bread. cold.
Cold as well.
So yeah,
I like how
cold
when you
pasta on
start
bread.
going into like British talks about food and dinners, and it's like it sounds like you're talking to a fucking hobbit. Of like, yeah, then we had second breakfast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
but it sounds like one of those things that you hear people like tell horror stories. And no, that was it. I would have to eat whatever my evening meal was cold on bread
yeah.
if it wasn't eaten. That was the
God.
rule. So if you were hungry at supper and you very quickly learn to enjoy bread with everything, because that's the thing, like you learn the trick is if you don't like eating something. Because there's some foods I just didn't like, but I would like it when it was on bread. Because when it was on bread, I could just eat the bread because bread was nice.
Well, it's a similar kind of thing of like I remember making like a roast dinner for the first time when I'd moved out to uni.
Mm.
And like I ate all of my veg and was like, this is really nasty. And it's like, oh mum, how would you make the veg? Well, it's like, oh, well, I put fat with this one. I put sugar in the
Yeah.
sprouts, and it's all right, okay. So you just made it more unhealthy to make me think I like vegetables, right? Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you first make pasta and it's like this tastes like shit. And then you put an entire pasta sauce on it and go, oh, it tastes nice now. And you look at the bottle of pasta sauce, and it's like 800 calories. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, it's just like, oh look, here's a shit ton of fucking oil. It's like great, great.
Yeah, like the first time I realized I didn't have to put the entire bottle of pasta sauce or jar of pasta sauce into my pasta, I was like, wow, this is the
That
future.
must have been a saucy pasta if, for one person, an entire jar.
Yeah, but I used to make like an entire bowl and I'd eat the entire bowl because I didn't know what portion control was until I started like exercising.
Because like when I'm making pasta, I'll make like a pasta for me and a pasta for Jenna, and then it's like
Mhm.
one jar of pasta sauce, and then that's probably enough to like have half of the pasta one night, and then like heat some up the next day and eat that. And I'm like, well, one jar of pasta on like one bowl must have been a fucking lot.
Just remember though, I only used to eat one meal a day.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
I just eat one because I don't like eating.
Hmm.
I see it as a chore unless I'm eating something unhealthy, and because I don't like to be unhealthy, I just don't eat. It's like when I was going to the gym and stuff. I just eat a bag of spinach and just put a tin of tuna in it, and put olive oil, a slight bit of olive oil, and just shake the bag, and then just eat the entire bag
Oh man, you
as
wouldn't
quickly as
even like
possible.
you wouldn't even heat it or anything.
No, just eat the entire thing
Oh.
because I needed to get the protein. I needed to get the minerals and vitamins.
I was thinking like, oh, a bit of like cooked tuna mixed in with a load of spinach. That sounds all right, like a bit plain, but
No, just straight
no,
into the
just in
bag.
the bag. Ugh!
How you do it? It's like
Just
I'm not very
dominate
good at
it.
I'm not very good at cooking, so that's how I do it. And like, that's the problem though, because I do like eating, but I eat really bad food, so I
Mm,
avoid it. It's like when I cut sugar out of my diet, I knew I'd never be able to do it unless I just didn't buy it. Because
fair,
I
yeah,
know I do not have the self control. If there is a bag of biscuits a packet of biscuits in the house, I will eat the biscuits.
yeah, yeah,
So just don't buy biscuits. And then that moment where I go, oh, I wish I had a biscuit with my tea. After a while, you just stop missing the biscuit, and that's how I had to teach myself.
yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm so bad with food.
Oh god. Oh well.
Oh, well, fuck you. Just pie sandwich though, man.
I love it.
It's the most manly it's ever been.
Like I just
I've never
every now and
seen.
then I just think about it again.
It's like the most Yorkshire thing I've ever fucking seen. A pie sandwich. It's
Oh,
like though, like you've witnessed, haven't you, the Carl's carbs?
oh, the Coles carbs, yeah.
When I just for my usual Chinese takeaway order is just noodles, curry sauce, fried rice, and chips, and then I put it all into a wok and fry it all together. And it's just this mass of just carbohydrates with curry sauce, and it's like, oh, that's the future right there.
Oh god, Coles carbs.
It's how to be a fucking fat knacker, and I love it.
And it's like it's such a weird British thing, I guess, of like we get taught from quite a young age of like, oh look, the staple of your food diet has got to be carbs on carbs. Of like,
Yeah,
here's a chip butty, go and eat it. It's like, oh right, okay.
yeah, chip butty, man. No better than chip butty.
And like, if anyone doesn't know, a chip butty is just a chip sandwich, probably with large amounts of like both butter and tomato ketchup.
Oh man, do you ever see when they tried to like gentrify the chip butty and they called it like the potato goujon sandwich? It's like fuck off, it's a chip butty. I was so mad when I saw that.
Oh, I fucking absolutely adore when you get like the gastro pubs that try to make like fucking pie and chips fancy, and I'm pissed
Yeah.
off.
I know when I go into if I'm going to like a place or not. If I look at the menu and it says instead of fish finger sandwich, it says fish goujons on ciabatta roll. It's like fuck off! It's a fucking fish finger sandwich. Stop trying to fancy it up. It's not working.
I remember that one time, Jen and I went to this place, and it was like a nice place, but it was clearly one of those ones where they wanted you to buy 3 courses, and they always has like the lunchtime offer on the 2 or 3 course meals and stuff. But we just went in, like for a quick meal, and was just like, we're on a nice walk. We've heard nice things about this place. We'll just go and get some fish and chips, and they served on the plate like the stack of like 5 chips.
Fuck off with that.
The big chips, like nice big chunky chip. But I was like, 5. Like, you are having me on here. Just 5 fucking chips on my plate.
So have you seen how much potatoes cost? Fuck off.
Yeah, it's like, that's not even 1 potato's worth of chips.
They are the cheapest staple food available. That's why everywhere serves chips, because they're fucking a piece of piss. Like, the markup on them is insane.
Yeah, and I will admit, they gave us nicely cooked chips and a big, nice fish. And like, it was tasty, but it's just like, man, I can tell that you do not want me coming in buying this one meal on its own.
No, you want me to get a starter. So I refuse to eat starters. For that. Give me a meal in one go. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that. Stop eating halfway through my meal and eat again.
Oh god, I find it really funny that like on multiple occasions, Jenna's turned around and been like, right, there's 3 courses. Can I replace my starter with a second dessert? And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, you do you, yeah. Okay, and normally, like, surprisingly, places are okay with it.
Yeah, they're fine. Get 2 desserts.
Yeah.
Or just like, what I do when I'm forced to go to a restaurant, because I don't really like eating desserts. Like I said, I cut sugar out of my diet as much as I can. I will just like swap someone. I'll give you my dessert, you give me your chips.
Yeah, I do stuff like that a lot of the time because I'm not much of a dessert person, like, unless it's like maybe ice cream.
Yeah. But I remember, I think it's Smokes, where it's like, oh yeah, they have a meal where it's to get chips, meat, and then a side. And I remember once when I asked, for my side, can I just have more chips? And they went, yeah, I guess. Boom! It's like, yes, this is how it's done.
Oh god, is that working at Nando's and you could tell like all those 12-year-olds coming in? And it's like, well, this meal comes with 2 sides, right? Yeah, okay, 2 chips. It's like, yeah,
2 chips.
Thought so.
Well, the problem with Nando's is that fucking rice. The ramekin is so thick. You got so much rice, and then the ramekin's got like an inch thick base.
See, I do love those ramekins only because I have them at home. They changed all of like the plateware, and they went, well, anyone take any of this old plateware home with it? Like, we're completely scrapping it. And I was like, awesome! Like, I get all these like nice sturdy ramekins, and like, very useful.
Yeah, I did that with my restaurant where I worked, where I stole a bunch of stuff because they had proper Sheffield steel knives and forks, but they had like fucking millions of them. So I just nicked them. I nicked so much. Like my bloody bar blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nicked from the thing because they had like 20 of them. So
yeah, I remember like when I was working at a restaurant and they gave me like a bar blade and like a waiter's friend and stuff like that, and then they hired like 25 of us, and within the first 3 months, like all of us had been fired because they weren't as successful as they thought they were going to be. I was like, fuck it, I'm taking these home at least. Like,
absolutely, I took so much stuff from my place of work.
Yeah.
It's like I used to always just nick straws and napkins and shit like that and bog roll, because there's no better. Like, you're living in a student house where like 2 or 3 of the people there work in bars. When you go to like when it's my turn to buy bog roll and you go in, it's like one of those huge big toilet rolls that go inside like industrial sized bog roll containers. It's like, yeah, I've got the bog roll for this week. Boom, it's one giant bog roll.
Oh, just fucking breaks the toilet.
That's how it's done. Fuck you. I'll never forget though when a mate of ours was having a shower and we just threw all the blue roll in with him.
Oh no!
It was the blue roll just like annihilated the shower.
Yeah,
there was no way, like, that plug hole was never the same. You could never get rid of that blue roll.
Oh god, poor blue roll.
Blue roll's awesome.
I mean, it is, I guess. If of all things you could have staple like Karl's seal of approval on, are you going with blue roll?
Yeah, it's because recently I found in Sheffield there is a supplier for restaurants that's open to the public. And I walked in with my girlfriend, and I got so excited when I saw Blue Roll. She got embarrassed because I was so like, oh, it's Blue Roll. She's like, why do you care? It's like, because every single kitchen roll for sale is shit compared to Blue Roll. I hate it. I hate how they always try and make it more absorbent. You don't want it to be absorbent. You want it to be plentiful. So I don't care if like one sheet absorbs like an entire pint of water, because then I've got to fucking mush around a sopping wet piece of kitchen roll. I just want to be able to get a big bunch of it in my hand and then wipe everything up in one go.
Yeah.
Fucking hate it.
Oh god, that's a sign that we both worked at restaurants, isn't it? Like we can get hype about Blue Roll.
Blue Roll's the best. I was tempted to buy like the 6 industrial rolls for like 30 quid. Like, yeah, but it'll last us like the next year. It's like, we're not fucking buying all that Blue Roll.
I'm not walking out of this fucking shop with 6 Blue Rolls.
Getting all the Blue Roll.
Oh god,
I was loving it. That's where I went. I spent ages just looking for espresso cups.
Oh, okay.
So I've got one of those like little Nespresso coffee makers. I want an espresso cup because I like espresso.
Yeah.
But everywhere you go, it's like they always sell them like 6 fucking cups. Like, I don't want to. I'm never going to make 6 espressos at once. I just want 1 cup, and I found it in that shop. That's what I stumbled past. But they just sell individual pieces of cutlery. So if you just want like 1 knife, you don't like say you've like lost your knives and forks, you've like you don't. Where can you find 1 knife? 1 fork. You can't get. You got like a set of 4, so you got like 16 fucking pieces of cutlery.
Oh, Karl.
They
when
sell,
I
like,
can travel
individual.
again, you're taking me on a date to this fucking restaurant supplier.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
I need like 1 or 2 espresso cups, and it again the exact same problem of like, would you like a 6 or 8 pack? And I'm like, there's only 2 of us in the house.
It's like, do you want a saucer with it? No, because I'm going to drink it immediately. It's a fucking espresso. It's like this big. I'm not going to save it and carry it around the house with me. So I went in there.
Oh god, I love it.
Yeah, so I went in and I got that, and like they sell like individual chopsticks as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's like so I want to buy 1 chopstick. Fuck it, yeah, let's go.
So I had the thing where I had a nice set of chopsticks, but Jenna didn't. Like, I just got a nice set from like a friend when they went to go to China, and they brought some back for like a few of us. And Jenna was always like, I want some chopsticks that are nice, not these shitty like ones that you just dispose of. And when I got her some for Christmas, like all I could find was like 5 packs of them.
It's like, yeah, I just want 1 set.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a joke you told me about where, is it Dave Gorman? Where it's like, oh, he saw a collection of 6, he's like, 6 combs. That's a really good deal. 6 combs for £1. It's like, well, actually, no, because what I'm paying £1 for is 1 comb and 5 combs that I don't want or need.
5 excess combs.
Yeah, so who needs 5 combs? So you think like nice, it's like with plates or like pans and pots and things like that, or mugs. So I just want to buy 1 mug. I don't want a set of 16 fucking mugs. I'm not inviting my entire extended family around for a coffee morning. I just want 1 mug.
Oh god. And then I have those moments where like my family comes around to my house and we'll crack out a bottle of wine and everyone's like, what do you mean you don't have 12 wine glasses? No, there's 2 of us. So we have like 4. Just leave us alone, okay?
I've got. I will say one thing that pissed me off though is I have an odd amount of forks, because just one evening I got takeaway and I accidentally left the fork in the takeaway box and then threw the takeaway box away with the fork in it. So now I have an odd amount of knives and forks, and it really pisses me off.
Oh gosh, yeah. Do you have that 1 fork that you don't know where it came from though?
No, but I have got a spoon. That's my spoon, and no one's allowed to use it because it's the one my friend got me, where he saved all of his Kellogg's box tops for a year.
Oh yeah.
And he's sent off to get some custom spoons with like your own name on them. And I've just got a spoon that has the Cocoa Pops mascot. Is it the monkey?
The monkey, yeah.
It's just him just giving a big goofy thumbs up, and it says Wu-Tang. So I've got my Wu-Tang spoon.
Yeah, I
so that's my
spoon. Yeah.
No one used my Wu-Tang spoon. Only I get to use the Wu-Tang spoon. That's how I eat my cereal.
It's true, I can confirm that. I've seen Karl eat from like the Cocoa Puffs Wu-Tang spoon.
My fucking Wu-Tang spoon, man. It's
the only way. Spoon.
It's the only way.
Up the spoon, sipping up the cereal.
Oh man, I always think I'm an adult until I use any other spoon but that one, really shatter every single one of my fucking teeth because the spoon's slightly different size.
It's like Karl may be 30 but hasn't figured out spoons yet.
It's because it's like when just something ever so slightly changes and you're just not used to it. Like, have you
Yeah,
ever
when
tried like walking down the stairs when you've got shoes on? Like, do you know when you get a set of new shoes and they have a slightly thicker heel than you used to, and you try and walk downstairs and you just keep falling downstairs or tripping over curbs?
yeah, I had a real weird experience when I first tried on my Doc Martens and like the proper Doc Marten boots with like the thick heel on them
Yeah.
and the thick sole, and I was just like, I feel like I've got an extra like, oh wait, I have got an extra inch underneath my feet. Yeah, it's like,
And
oh
you try
god,
and you keep finding yourself like accidentally just tripping over curbs because there's just slightly more of you
yeah,
than you used to.
yeah. You lift your foot up like that perfect amount to always clear the curb, but when you add that little bit extra below your foot, it's like you're always clipping the curb. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and it's the same concept just with a spoon putting into my mouth. So I use the same spoon literally every day for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So when I have to use a different spoon, I'm not used to it.
Yeah, it's
What is
just
this
muscle memory,
spoon?
isn't it? And when you try to mess with muscle memory, it fucks you up real easily.
Yeah, it's like whenever you get a new phone,
Yeah.
getting a new phone or a new keyboard, and you can't use it. Or you try and like I have to get a new laptop every couple of years
Mm.
for work. And bear in mind, I write like a couple thousand words every single day. When I switch laptops, it's like, so I just buy the same laptop again
Yeah, I remember
because it's
trying
easier.
to type out on Jenna's laptop, and I'm now used to sitting here with like a keyboard, admittedly not a great keyboard, but a proper keyboard rather than a laptop keyboard. And I was sat there like, just pressing it like one finger at a time, like a fucking 60-year-old. Just like, I don't know how to do this anymore. So I
The worst
tried
one,
typing like two hands touch type, and it just fucked up everything.
yeah, the worst one for me is I've got two laptops. I've got like usually when I get a new work laptop, my old one becomes like my just like watching shit on YouTube laptop
Oh right,
and
yeah.
sending emails laptop. The one I've got for work, I bought it in anticipation. I'll get it now. It's right over here. Oh god, that's an awful noise. Just like
It's like, oh god, no, Karl.
it's the office chair going across laminate flooring. Whatever who gives a fuck, I'm paying the rent. I got this one here. It's really, really nice laptop. Super, super classy, really thin, all that bollocks.
Oh.
But the problem is, you can see on my hand.
Yeah.
My hand is almost as big as the entire fucking laptop because I bought it in anticipation of lockdown ending. So I thought when it ends, I want to start like going. I want something I can just put in a bag, like a
Yeah.
satchel. I don't want my other laptops like if I can't be asked going to get, but it's like
Nah,
an
it's
8.
fine.
It's like twice the size of this. This is like a 14-inch laptop. The other one's like a 22-inch one.
Yeah, because I was expecting you to pull that one out and then was like, wait, Carl's got a new laptop.
Yeah, that's the one I use for writing now in
Yeah.
anticipation of when I can like just take it anywhere. It's got like a 15-hour battery life. I can just chuck it in a bag or whatever.
Yeah.
But like just going from that to the other one because I have to like type like this. It's super fucking awkward. But my entire hand like goes across like the keyboard on its own. It's like, for fuck's sake.
That is the downside for the convenience of it, I guess. But yeah, there's always the payoff, isn't there?
There is, but I just like that was rough to get used to when I was typing that one. Because I just kept reaching for like the caps lock key or tab or whatever the fuck, and it's like my finger just goes off the edge of the keyboard.
Yeah. And I hate shit like that. It's like just one of those weird things where you get used to something so much you kind of don't want to change it just because you know you're gonna like have a slight amount of inconvenience getting used to the new thing.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it sounds better at the same time. I like the convenience.
Fair, yeah.
It's nice. It's not. It's like when I get because I type so much, I can type without looking. It is really satisfying. Like, say for example, just at night, it's like if me and my missus are watching something on Netflix, I can because I know where I can just buy search for something.
Touch typing, isn't it? Yeah.
It's super satisfying. Or like when I'm just sending out emails, I can just like get a cup of coffee and like type with one hand. It's really satisfying to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is, and I did for a while know how to touch type, but I do so little writing now that it's just like now I'm editing instead of writing stuff. Like I used to blog a lot and had a job where I was like doing a lot of dictation and things like that, but now it's just I can't type for the life of me. It's just weird, and it's like it's real unsatisfying to have that skill that I know I used to have, and it's like I can't work like that anymore.
Yeah, I had something like that. Like in regards to my physical capabilities, where I used to be able to do the full splits. I was one of those people, I could do the full splits.
Oh
I can
wow.
I can no longer do the full splits, and it pisses me off every day. Even though I never use it, it still annoys me. I used to be able to do it, and now I can't. So the equivalent, and I know that I'll never get that flexibility back, not without like concerted effort that I can't be asked putting in.
Yeah.
But I can still touch my toes. And I remember once after like not going exercising for like go after uni.
Yeah, yeah.
Uni, no one exercising fucking uni. I was still like thin, but I wasn't like in shape or anything.
Fair,
And I
yeah.
went my toes, and like there was like 2 foot of fucking difference. Like I used to be able to do this no problem. Now I'm like, this is it. This is as much.
Oh god, that's probably me now after lockdown. Jesus.
Try to touch your toes. So I've
Yeah.
realized I can still touch my toes, and every morning I do 10 toe touches because I don't want to lose that. I never want to lose that again because it was so fucking gutting when I couldn't touch my toes.
Yeah.
It's like doing a press up.
True. True.
It's like, have you ever had that moment, maybe like on a night out or something like that, or like a house party, where just like one of the dares is like do press ups or something, or who can do the most? And you see the guy who used to be able to do press ups but now can't
Oh yeah.
try and do them, and he does like 3, and you could just see it on his face. He's like, I am no longer a man.
Yeah.
It's one of the most gutting things to witness because you are literally witnessing someone just like be completely unmade in their own head.
Well, I
Their
watched
own
that
self-image
happen
is being shattered.
one time, and it
Okay.
wasn't a friend. It was like a guy who, like, was a roommate of a friend in uni, and he was a mature student that was like used to be in the army,
Okay.
and we were like all drinking and doing shots and stuff, and then out of nowhere, he's just like, right, I'm gonna do 100 press ups right now, and just like everyone's like, okay, I guess, dude, like, yeah. And then he gets to like 30 and starts struggling, and you just see like, I could do that, I can do 100, and it's like, mate, give it up, give it up. It's like you're not in the army anymore.
You used to be able to do 100.
Yeah,
Now you can't.
and that's just like, I'd say age, but it's not even age. It's just not
like-
practicing.
Just look at Jack Lalanne. Jack Lalanne, if anyone ever wants like just to while away, you know what, we can do it now. Fuck it. I was gonna say while away and after on Wikipedia. Fuck it, we're gonna do that. We're
Okay.
gonna look at Jack Lalanne because he is incredible. And while we're doing this, I guess after we finish like discussing Mr. Jack Lalanne,
Yeah,
we will do Q&A.
we will.
So
Yes.
folks in my chat, folks in Lucas's chat, if you want to ask us some questions, start like putting them in now, and we'll like do a couple after this. And for people in my chat, if you want to ask Lucas questions, you can use !Lucas,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get his chat up as well. Because like the order is, I'll read one out, Lucas will read one out, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth that way. So
Yeah,
maximize chances of getting your question read out by asking it in both chats, I suppose. I'm going to look at Jack Lalanne now. Jack Lalanne. So we're going to do this is a easy wiki weekends for us. This is Jack Lane.
And
Right.
you'll have to clarify. I don't recognize the name. So who
So
is
do you know-
Jack Lalanne?
He was a fitness guru. He famously lived to like 90 odd years old.
Right. Okay.
He was basically just like one of the earliest pioneers of fitness.
Right.
Like to the point where he was seen as a quack. Like when he started telling people like to eat right and exercise, this was the same time period when doctors advise you to smoke in magazines. To put in context, like when he was telling people to exercise, doctors told people that if you do Jack Lalanne's exercises, you will like get hurt. Like when he advised just doing things as simple as simple weightlifting, like no, it's dangerous. Don't lift weights. Don't jog. It's really bad for your joints. It's like the fuck are you supposed to do to stay in shape then?
Fucking hell.
And he has one of my favorite quotes attributed to him when they asked him, "So, Mr. Lalanne, do you and the wife?" Because he was famously very active up until he died in his 90s. The wife still get intimate. He goes, "Yes, we have sex almost every night. We almost had sex last night, and we almost had sex the night before that too." I love that quote. But we have here, so Jack Lalanne feats, and this is jacklalanne.com.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through it. So in 1954, at age 40, make sure I get all the entire thing here. Jack Lalanne swam the length of the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge underwater with 140 pounds of equipment, including 2 air tanks.
Jesus.
An undisputed world record. At age 41 in 1955, he swam handcuffed from Alcatraz to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco.
Handcuffed.
Handcuff. He swam a mile handcuffed from Alcatraz. You know that famously perilous journey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where, like, the reason Alcatraz was so dangerous is because even if you escaped, you couldn't swim in the water without dying. Jack Lalanne did it handcuffed to prove that a prisoner could have done it. At age 42, he set a world record of 1,033 push-ups in 23 minutes.
Whew.
At age 43, he once again swam the Golden Gate Channel, towing a 2,500 pound cabin cruiser.
What?
At age 44, maneuvered a paddleboard 30 miles, 9.5 hours non-stop from Farallon Island to San Francisco shore. At age 45, completed 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 chin-ups in 1 hour and 22 minutes. So you fast forward now to 1974. At age 60, he swam from Alcatraz to Fisherman's Wharf for a second time handcuffed and towing a 1,000-pound boat.
Oh my God.
Just to prove they still got it. At age 61, swam the length of the Golden Gate Bridge again underwater for a second time, shackled, and this time towing another 1,000-pound boat. At age 62, commemorating the Spirit of 76 swim, swam 1 mile in Long Beach Harbor, handcuffed, shackled, and towing 13 boats, containing 76 people. At age 65, towed 65 boats filled with 6,500 pounds of Louisiana Pacific wood pulp while handcuffed and shackled in a lake near Tokyo. At age 66, towed 10 boats in North Miami, Florida, filled with 77 people for over a mile in less than an hour. At age 70, handcuffed, shackled, and fighting strong winds and currents, towed 70 boats with 70 people from Queensway Bridge in the Long Beach Harbor to Queen Mary, 1.5 miles. At age 80, he earned the State of California Governor's Council on Physical Fitness Lifetime Achievement. That was given to him by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Of course, yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger very famously asked when he was Mr. Universe, like I think just after Conan the Barbarian came out. Then 60-year-old Jack Lalanne, he challenged the then 60-year-old Jack Lalanne to a push-up contest, and Jack Lalanne fucking annihilated him.
I mean, the thing with someone like Arnie, though, is like, if you're a big guy challenging someone to a push-up contest, like, you've got to push up your own weight every time, and if you're a big dude, that gets fucking tough.
But you can still do it, and he said that Jack Lalanne was he said, and I quote, that Jack Lalanne is an animal. And Jack Lalanne demonstrated his fitness when after doing this by grabbing onto 2 seats on the plane that they were on and touching his toes to the roof of the cabin. At 60 years old. So the last thing he did was at age 65. Age 65, he towed 65 boats.
Well, that's impressive.
Age 70, he towed 70 boats with 70 people. So age 70 was towing 70 boats underwater while swimming.
Because, like, did you see the thing Tony Hawk did recently?
Oh, he landed like his last 900 at like 50 or something. It wasn't
even a 900. He was like, I've finally been able to do a 720 for the first time in years. And he's like, I'm not as agile as I used to be.
I just can't do it.
And it's like, man, if like someone like Tony Hawk, who still to this day, all he does is fucking skateboard.
Yeah.
And he still is like, yeah, age does get to you. Like, there's no stopping it. My joints just aren't what they are anymore.
He invented the 900.
Yeah, and he can't do it anymore.
Can't do it anymore. But then you got like Jack Lalanne at age fucking 70, towing 70 boats.
God.
70. He lived to 95, it looks like. 95, it says here.
Like
maybe older than that, because that's like the last thing listed on his website.
It is weird, isn't it, that, okay, like, man who is clearly excellently fit, lived until he was 95, and then you get some people who just, like, sat on their ass all their life and got to 110, and it's like, okay, how does that work?
I just thought that old joke tweet of if you live to age 100, and people like start making shit up about how you live so long, like eating an entire pine cone per day. just fuck it. No, everyone's gonna, because people will try it if you do it, won't they?
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
But I think though we've like more than covered like Mr. Jack Lalanne, the absolute unit that was.
God, yeah.
It's like Joe Rolino, who's like a strong man. He lived to age 104, and do you know how he died at age 104? He got hit by a truck.
Oof.
And it didn't kill him because he still made it to the hospital, and he died 3 days later.
Oh,
and can you imagine at 104 years old even surviving being hit by a truck?
Yeah.
Like you'd think most people at that age would just burst into flames, just from, like the friction of the dust in their bones,
Like
moving
just
that.
looking at the truck killed them. God.
But yeah, so we can do some Q&A now. So we have here, so I'm asking, can you do the splits? I don't know how I'd do that on stream, but I'm wearing skinny jeans, so no. That said, I used to be able to do it, but I can't anymore. I
Yeah.
try every now and again while doing my morning stretches and stuff, but I'd say I get like, I'm trying to think what the angle would be. It's like that, maybe. Like
I mean,
I'm nowhere
that doesn't help our audio
near.
listeners, Carl.
Does it? Like, I'm gonna say it's nowhere. It's not very impressive
Okay, yeah, fair.
because obviously it's not a skill I practice anymore.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, yeah. And it looks like we might just have to stick to your questions because I've got a pretty dead stream at the moment.
Oh no! People go to
So,
Lucas' chat. But exclamation
Yeah.
point! You ask Lucas questions.
You continue to take it away, Carl.
No, because no one's asking any questions in mine, despite the fact that it's weird. And people
Fair
are not asking questions. What's this about? The guy's like tight to sentencing, but he didn't put a question mark at the end, so I don't consider that. I think it's just a statement. So I think you just put a statement, but it's framed like a question.
Like the Carl's like, if it's not a question mark at the end, it's not a fucking question.
It's not a question, but it's really weird. So I guess it's like, what did you think of the direct? Not much. I watched it after the fact. Went a lot of news. None of it really excites me.
Yeah, it was one of those things of like, they had the weird bit where you kind of put up with it. Like, there's like those games where, yeah, a small portion of the viewer base is gonna enjoy this. But I guess like this is kind of a niche game going into a montage of a couple of other niche games.
Yeah.
But it was that for 50 minutes.
And that's the thing, like, yeah, there's probably some games that I'm going to play, but we've talked before, like, we really, really don't like buying into the hype culture because it leads to making silly mistakes, like we did in this very podcast.
Yeah.
And making wild assumptions that are incorrect.
And I will say, I'm excited to be able to play like Mario Golf, that speed golf version where it's like Mario Kart-esque.
Yeah.
It's like everyone tees off at the same time and you all start like using power-ups and sprinting towards your golf ball and stuff.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that level of... I want Mario Party style bullshit in my golf game.
Yeah, I really do. And it, like, the moment that trailer started and it was like talking about, oh, you can scan the ground and the line, and I was like, why are we getting into technical bullshit with Mario Golf? Like, where's the stupid stuff? And then it showed off that game type, and I was like, yep, this is what I want.
I want the golfing equivalent of the blue shell. If I'm like 5 strokes behind, I want to be able to call in the blue shell, which is just, it hits the ball in midair and launches like a mile off course.
Yeah, and I would really like it if, like, our friend group or whatever all end up getting Mario Golf and we can have like a 4-player online match of that mode.
Hell, fuck it. With Nintendo Online as well. It's going to be great.
With Nintendo Online, so not only are you getting fucked over by the blue shell mode, you're getting fucked over by Nintendo Online.
That's the only mode I'm playing.
Yeah. I'd try out the RPG, whatever. Like, that might be fun, but yeah, I'm all down for speed golf.
Why even bother putting another mode when one mode lets me fuck people up while playing golf? Like, the most patient and technical of all games. Bollocks to it, add randomness.
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well just start putting multi-ball.
Yeah, why not? Because at the end of the day, there's already serious sports games. Like, if I want a simulation of golf, like, there's already that option. Why put a Mario skin on just that?
Exactly, yeah. Give me the bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Definitely. But yeah, the rest of the Direct, just a constantness of like, And it's not bad, it's just they brought back a Nintendo Direct that lasted 50 minutes. It was the first one in 18 months, and they didn't really have like that thing to tune in for.
Yeah, did it feel like they had like a year's worth of stuff built up? Not particularly now.
No, and I'm presuming that this will hopefully tee us up for one in like June or July, where they talk about the stuff coming in later in the year that's a bit more hype. But you really don't know with how much like lockdowns affected the development of games and stuff. It might just be the year of we don't really get anything.
Yeah, which is understandable. Like, never forget that legendary hot take of Nintendo's not announced a lot this year. Can anyone think of a reason for that? So yeah, the global pandemic ravaging the earth, moron.
Oh, yeah. And
Oh, any question on your end?
yeah, I guess like this kind of leads into something else of like what is something from your childhood that you are still nostalgic for?
Uh, a lot of things really,
Yeah.
and most of them I'd like to think hold up. Because I'd like to think young Karl had good taste. Games wise, there's like the silly games that I played like Bloody Raw,
Yeah.
Wild 9, Vigilante 8. Like bring back car combat games, man.
Well,
I miss car combat.
it's weird because like people they were talking about the fact that like Twisted Metal TV shows in the works now,
What a
and it's
TV show
a
based on a
TV
game that hasn't
show,
had a new game in like 10 years.
and it's like you're not. I mean, I guess this might be leading up to the announcement of a new game, but like the
Link with a
PS3 Twisted Metal was real bad, and you haven't released one since, and now you want a fucking TV show with it. What?
It's going to be a shitty tie-in one where they've got to like get the likenesses of the people on the show, and it's going to cost more than the actual
God.
engine they put on it. It's like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, never have much hope for any like video game adaptation, whether it be like TV or movies. Really, like the best one in recent times is, I mean, probably Castlevania, and that was an anime.
Like we've got what is it, that Borderlands movie that's been announced, and it's like that already looks like it's a steaming pile of shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Kevin Hart being cast as Roland, the straight man. Comedian Kevin Hart playing the straight man, Roland.
yeah. And like, there's all the casting choices where it's like, oh yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis. That makes sense. That makes sense
Hopefully
to
she's,
me. But like,
I hope she's a huge fucking nerd.
yeah, yeah,
The
exactly.
haircut, actually, like Jamie Lee Curtis has like famously had like basically just the short cropped tomboy haircut like her entire fucking career.
Yeah, and like literally the same that Tannis has in Borderlands 2. But yeah, like it's just a weird thing, isn't it, with video game adaptations? But like going back to the question, like something
Yeah,
I'm
that's the honest
nostalgic
answer.
for is just like yeah, mainly as people can probably tell, a lot of old video games. You know, things like the uh Super Mario Bros. Like 1, 2, 3 World. I played like All Stars was the first game I ever remember playing on the SNES, and I have a lot of nostalgia for that. But yeah, like it's really depressing that so many of those games I have nostalgia for are really difficult to play.
Yeah, and like it's even worse for me because the games that I am nostalgic for, no one gives a fuck about them, so they're never getting. They're never
Bloody
gonna.
Raw, Carl. I think that's just it's
Yeah,
stuck. It's stuck, Carl. I'm sorry.
they're never remastering Bloody Raw 2 for PlayStation 1. And every passing day, it gets harder and harder to track down. Like they're never going to remaster that shit.
And I was really upset because I was listening to a podcast today where they were talking about like a crazy taxi game esque game that came out that was like a bit shit. And I was like, oh right, okay, that's a shame. And then I thought, oh man, like maybe Carl and I could just spend an hour playing like Simpsons Road Rage for our channel, like for my channel, and then looked, oh, does like Xbox have backwards compatibility of it? No. Like, do I have anything to connect it to like record for it? It's like, not really. And it's such a shame because there's so many games I would love for us to be able to play together
Can't.
for our like channel or for streaming or whatever. It's just really hard to capture those devices.
It costs so much money to get the equipment to do it as well.
Yeah, it's
To the
like
point
goddamn.
where
Just
it's really not.
no, it's not worth it for a 20-minute video of us playing Simpsons Road Rage. Like it's at that point, it's just not worth it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the harsh clinical look at just making content. Of if it's not making you money, it's not worth investing your time into. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I wish that there were more things like what Xbox is doing, where it's yeah, that game from 20 years ago will work, but obviously as I just pointed out, with the original Xbox games, like when I looked at only still like 40 titles.
Yeah, Barbie Horse Adventure.
It's like half of
With
them are
like,
just fucking Star Wars. It's like great.
there is like a Barbie game I think that has worked consistently since the Xbox 360 days. It's like been a meme of like you can't play like Halo 2, but you can play fucking Barbie Horse Adventure as much as you want. And then we've got one on mine. Any plans to expand the Fact Fiend live events? Yeah. I don't really know what more lives we've already like discussed it to death, really. And just talking about it makes me really depressed.
Yeah, and like we're in a lockdown, so we can't do any of that stuff right now.
Yeah, it's like every time we talk about it, it's like, yeah, it just makes me really just hanker for the ability to go out. It's like every time we stream, like you were the other day accidentally mentioned West Street Live, and we're like, yeah, West Street Live.
Yeah.
So obsessed.
Oh.
It's in the mind at all times.
It is.
Just the urge, the allure of the pint is living rent free in my head, and I'm so upset. The allure of that ice cold pint, man.
It's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, yeah, we can have a pint at home, but it's not the same as like meeting up with your mates and all having a pint together. But yeah, it's a shame.
It is. And you got any questions in yours to close off?
Yeah, and I will say like, I just always want to point this kind of stuff out of like, someone says, "What do you guys think of Gina Carano getting fired from The Mandalorian?" Fuck people like that. She's a bigot. Like, piss off. I don't want her to have any sort of career. She can fuck right off.
Did you see? It's like she's trying to frame it as like I was cancelled for being conservative. It's
God,
like, oh,
yeah.
what did you say? Oh, I told people that masks don't work, and then compared me being silenced or conservatives being like kicked off social media for spreading conspiracy theories to Jews being rounded up during the Holocaust. Oh, is that a conservative view? It's weird that you're admitting that.
Yeah. It's like there's a line between being conservative and just being a dickhead.
Yeah, and it's weird that those lines are so blurred now.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've really got to say about Gina Carano,
Yes, yeah.
I think it's off Star Wars is na 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 na, whoa, get wrecked. It's like fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% just fuck you. And the fact that the person willing to work with her after this is Ben fucking Shapiro says it all. Also known as, like, other giant bellend.
Man who can't get wife wet. Man who can't publicly admitted to being unable to get his doctor wife wet.
Yeah, and said, she told me it was fine. Some women just can't.
Like, they're the best ones, though, where you look at the actual things that were said. It's like, what are you doing? I was spreading anti-mask conspiracy theories and then saying that the Democrats stole the election. Oh, so like basically you were just saying things that are wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong and offensive and actively endangering human life. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you frame it as, whoa, what do you mean I can't shit on the floor? What I always say, isn't it, it's the equivalent of like someone walking into a McDonald's and shitting on the floor, being asked to, where in the rules it say I can't shit on the floor? Yeah. No one told me I can't shit on the floor. You are canceling me for shitting on the floor. I will not have this.
We didn't think that anyone needed to be told to not shit on the fucking floor.
So imagine like you sat in a theatre and you just start screaming out 9/11 was an inside job at the top of your lungs for half an hour. And after half an hour, and the thing is, like, the usher comes up and he asks you, like, can you please be quiet?
Yeah.
And the usher asks you like 5 times. And then after the 6th time, like, they very begrudgingly just ask you politely to leave. And they're not forcing you to leave. It's just they ask you to leave and you feel shame to leave because everyone there's like, we don't want to listen to you anymore. And then you get outside and you just continue screaming outside about how you were treated unfairly.
Oh, God, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that situation other than fuck her.
Like, my favourite, what I hope is, I'm waiting, because obviously they've got to write a character out of the show. And I hope to fucking God they just say that her character died off screen from disease because she didn't wear a mask. Just have the Mandalorian just say, why wouldn't she wear a mask? She hangs out with me. It's not a big deal. I wear a mask all the time. You know it's not going to happen because Disney haven't got the balls to do it. But I would love if they did that.
That would be incredible, yeah.
If they just say she died off screen because she didn't wear a mask. Literally, just say she died on her way back to her home planet. She's a shit actress anyway. Fuck her.
Fair enough.
She's the worst part of that show.
Yeah.
She's a complete charisma black hole.
Oh God. But yeah, I don't know if you've got any other questions on your end.
No, I think we can call it there because obviously you've got to like edit this and stuff.
I do, yes. I have to edit before the next stream.
You do, yes. So yeah, we can close off. Just Lucas, where can people find more things from you?
Well, people can find me at Legend of Kanto here on Twitch, people watching, and over on my YouTube channel as well. I'm also Legend of Kanto there. Just, yeah, normally either podcasting on this or doing dumb gaming stuff.
We are. And speaking of dumb gaming stuff, in what, like 2 hours or so, we'll be playing some Borderlands 2 on this very stream.
We will.